Hello friends, today we are reading The Power of Subconscious Mind, Chapter 12, How Scientists Use the Subconscious Mind. Many of the most creative scientists in history has realized the true importance of the subconscious mind. Edison, Marconi, Einstein and many others have used the subconscious mind to give them the insight and know-how to bring about their great achievement. The ability to bring into action the power of subconscious mind is one of the most important factors in the determining the success of great scientific and research worker. One of the most amazing example of this can be found in the life is the celebrated chemist Friedrich von Stradonese. He had been struggling for a long time to understand the chemical structure of the hydrocarbon called benzene. This is a compound that contains six atoms of carbon and six of hydrogen. Standardized was constantly perplexed by the problem. All his efforts seemed to lead nowhere. Unable to solve the riddle, tired, exhausted, Knight turned the matter over the completely how his subconscious mind shortly afterward as he was about to board a London bus. His subconscious present his conscious mind with a sudden flash in his mind. Stato saw the image of snake bite with own tail turn around like a pinwheel. This message from his subconscious mind inspired him to orient his search in a different direction. Soon he arrived at a long sought answer. The circulate arrangement of atoms. This is known as benzene ring. How a distinguished scientist brought forth his investigation. Nikola Tesla was a brilliant pioneer in the field of electricity. The Tesla coil, as exhibit in Science Museum, this is a way a favorite with children, was only one of his invention. This is a change mental sphere. When someone touch is the statical energy make his or her hair straight. Tesla also experiment with the concept of broadcasting energy. This idea of his topic are still considered the revolutionary. The Tesla was convinced use the power of the subconscious mind. Whenever he had an idea for a few new invention or a new research direction, he could build it up in his imaginary, then turn it over his subconscious mind. He knew that his subconscious mind would reconstruct and reveal to his conscious mind all the part needed to its manufacturing in current form. Though quickly contemplating very simple improvement, he wasted no time on correction defect. He was able to give the techniques working with him to perfect end product of his mind. In an interview, he said, "Invariable, my device work as I imagine it should. In 20 years, there has no been a single exception." How famous nutritionist solved his problem? The Professor Louis Agassiz, Harvard University, was one of the most distinguished American nutritionists of the 19th century. He discovered the great power of his subconscious mind while he slept. The following example come from a biography of Agassiz. writing by his window. He had been 2 weeks strive to decipher the somehow abused impression of fossil fish on a stone slab in which it is was represented. Weird and perplexed, he put his work aside at least and tried to dismiss it from his mind. Shortly after, he woke weak one night, pursued the while sleeping he had seen his fish with all the missing feature perfectly restored, but when he tried to hold, make fast to images kept him. Nevertheless, he went early to the Jordan's dye plant, think that one look knew at the impression of he should see something which would put him on a track of his vision. In vain, the blurrish record was as black as ever. Next night the saw fish again, but with no more satisfactory result. When he awoke, it disappearing his memory as before, hoping that the some experiment might be repeated. On the third night, he placed a pencil and paper beside his bed before going to sleep. Accordingly, toward morning, the fish reappeared in his dream, considerably the first, but at last, which with distinctness, he had no longer any doubt as to the geological character. Still half dreaming, in perfect darkness, he traced them, character on a sheet of paper at the bedside. In this morning he was surprised to see this lecturing scratch feature, which he thought is impossible to fossil itself shouldn't reveal. He hesitated to the Jardin de Planet, and with his drawing as a guided success in justing away the surface of the stone under which portion of the fish bore to be hidden. When wholly exposed, it corresponded with his dream and his drawing. His success in classification in what with case. How an outstanding physician the problem of diabetes. In the 1920s, Dr. Frederick Banting, a brilliant Canadian physician and researcher, focused his attention on the ravage of diabetes. At the time, medical science offered no effective method of arresting the disease. Dr. Banting spent considerable time experimenting and studying the international literature on the subject, but every path he explored seemed to be dead end. One night, exhausted by still another long day of what seemed to be wasted effort, he fell asleep. While he lay sleeping, his subconscious mind instructed him to exact the receipt from the degenerated pancreatic drugs of dog. His impression led him to discover the insulin, which had helped countless millions of the people since. You will note that Dr. Banting had been consciously dwelling on the problem for some time, seeking a solution, a way out. His subconscious respond accordingly. It does not follow that you will always get an answer to overnight. The answer may not come from same time. Do not be discovered. Keep on turning the problem every night to that subconscious barrier to sleep, as if you had never done it before. If you continue to experiment a delay in arrive at the solution, maybe you are thinking of the question you are presenting to your subconscious mind as a major one that will take a long time to solve. This would not be surprised. We are usually tempted to believe our problems are difficult. If they wasn't be problem. However, this is a mistake. Your subconscious mind is timeless and speechless. Go to sleep believing you have the answer now. Do not posture that answer will have to wait to come in the future. Have the habit faith in outcome. Become conceive now as you read this book. There is an answer, a perfect solution for you. How a scientist escaped from a Soviet concentration camp. Dr. Lothar von Blank and Schmidt, as outstanding electrician engineer, was locked up in Soviet prison camp during World War XII. He credited his several and eventual escape to freedom to the power of subconscious mind. I was a prisoner for war in cold time in Russia. I saw men dying all around in me in prison component. He were watching over by brutal guard, arrogant officer and sharp, fast-thinking commanders. After a short medical checkup, a coat of coal was assigned to each person. My coat was the £100 per day. In case many men did not file this coat. His small food ration was cut down. In a short time he was resting in a century tree. I start concentration on my escape. I knew that my subconscious mind would somehow find a way. Home is my journey was my home is Germany was destroyed. My family is ripped out. All my friend, former associate was there killed in a war. Where a concentration camp. I said to my subconscious mind, I want to go to Los Angeles where you will find a way. I had seen lecture of Los Angeles and I remember some of the blueprint very well as some of the buildings. Every day night I would imagine I was walking down Wilshire Boulevard with the American girl whom I met in Berlin period of war. She is now my wife. In my imagination, we would visit the store, ride bus, eat in a restaurant. Every night I made it a special point to drive my imagination American automobile up and down the boulevard of Los Angeles. I made all this vivid and real. This picture is my mind were as real as nature to me as out of the tree outside the prisoner camp. Every morning the chief guard would count the prisoners as they were lined up. He could call out 1, 2, 3, etc. And when 17 was called out, which was my number sequence, I stepped aside. In the meantime, the guard was called away from a minute or so. On his return, he started by mistake on a next man as number 17. When the crew returned in the evening, the number of men was the same. I was not missing. Discover would take a long time. I walked off the camp undetected and kept walking for 24 hours, resting in distracted town in next day. I was able to live by fishing, killing some wildlife. I found coal train going to Poland and traveled on them by night until finally I reached Poland. With the help of friend, I made my way to Lucerne, Switzerland. One evening at the Place Hall, loosened. I had a talk to with a man, his wife from the United States of America. His man asked me if I would care to get a guest at his home, Santa Monica, California. I accepted. When I arrived in Los Angeles, I found that there is a cafe drawn me away along Wilshire Boulevard and many other boulevards which I had imagined so vividly in a long month in a Russian coal mine. I recognized all buildings which I had seen in my mind so often. I actually seemed as I had been in Los Angeles before I had reached my goal. I will never cease to marvel at the wonder of subconscious mind. Truly, it has way we know how archaeologists and paleontologists reconstruct ancient scenes. Your subconscious mind has a memory of everything that has even happened in the history of our species. Archaeologists studying ancient ruins and the countless artifacts left by the people of former culture can be imagination perception to marvelous use in their work. Their subconscious mind can aid them in reconstructing ancient scenes. The dead past become alive once more, looking at the fragment of this ancient building and studying the pottery, statue, tool, household utensil of early civilization. The scientist is able through the common data bank of the universe mind to know how, when, why the objects were created. I keep concentration and discipline imaginary of the scientists awaken the latent power of the subconscious mind. This gives him the ability to clothe the ancient structure with roof and surround them with garden, pool and fountain. The fossil remains are clothed with eye, sinew and muscle. They can walk and talk. The past becomes the live present. We found in a mind there is no time or space. This discipline and control and directive imagination you be the companion of the most scientific and inspired thinker of all time. How to receive guidance with your subconscious mind? When you have to make what you think will be difficult decision, when you fail to see the solution to your problem, being at one the think constructively about it. If you are fearful and worried, you are not really thinking. True think is free for fear. Here are the steps of the simple technique you can use to receive guidance on your subject. Quiet the mind and still the body. Tell the body to relax. It has to obey you. It has no violence, irritation, self-construct intelligence. Your body is an emotional disk with record you believe and impression. Mobilize your attention. Focus your thought on the solution to your problem. Try to solve it with your conscious mind. Think how happy you would be about the perfect solution. Since the feeling you would have if the perfect answer were you have now. Let your mind play with this mood of happiness and contentment in a relaxed way, then drop off to sleep. When you awaken, if you do not have the answer, get busy with something else. While you are preoccupied with something else, it is possible that the answer will pop into your mind. In receiving guidance of the subconscious mind, it's the simple way it is the best. Here is the illustration. I once lost a valuable ring that was a family heirloom. I looked everywhere for it, but it was nowhere to find. I was worried, distraught by the loss. That night I talked to my subconscious mind in the same way that I could talk to anyone. Be- Before dropping off to sleep, I said to it, "You know all things, you know where that ring is, and you know, reveal to me where it is." In the morning, I woke up suddenly with this word ringing in my mind. Ask Robert. This seemed very strange to me. The only Robert I could think of Hald was 9-year-old son of my next door neighbor. Why should he know about the location of my ring? However, I followed in the inner voice of intuition. I found Robert in his yard and described the ring to him. "You didn't see it, have you?" I asked. "Oh, sure," he replied. "I found it in a bush yesterday when I was playing inside and sick. I didn't know whose it was, so I took it inside and put it on my desk. I was going to put it in, sing about it, but I forgot." The subconscious mind will always answer you if you trust it. His subconscious revealed the location of his father will. Hugh R. was a young man who attended my lecture in Los Angeles. He told me of his experience with the power of the subconscious mind. His father had died suddenly, apparently leaving no will. However, his sister told his that their father had once mentioned making his will, and told her that he had done his best to make it fair for everyone. Hughes realized that if his late father were ruled to his dead instantly without a will, the property would be divided up according to rule made by the state. It was not likely that this would fit their father's desire. Moreover, legal fees would consume much for the estate. He and his sister looked everywhere, but they could not locate the will. They began to wonder whether the will existed at all. Then Hughes remembered what he had learned about using the subconscious mind. Before going to sleep, he talked to his deeper mind. Say, "I know," turn this request over to the subconscious mind. It know where my father's will and reveal it to me. Then he considered his request down to the word answer. He repeated it over again, like a lullaby. He went to sleep with the word answer echoing in his mind. The next morning he woke up with the tremendous urge to visit a central bank in downtown Los Angeles. He wondered about this. Had he heard his father mention it once? Had he noticed a letter from the bank on his father's mail? He didn't know, but he didn't know that he had a check out his hunch. He would be the bank the morning. Eventually, the bank officer confirmed that there was a safe deposit box in a vault registered in the same name of his late father. When the box was opened, the missing will was discovered inside. Your thought, as you go to sleep, arouse the powerful literacy that is within you. Suppose you are wondering if you would sell your home, buy a certain stock, seven or partnership, move to New York, or stay in Los Angeles. Dissolve the present contract on take a new one. Do this. Sit quietly in your armchair on at a desk in your office. Remember that there is a universal law of action and reaction. The action your thought, the reaction of the response from your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is a reactive and reflective. This is the nature. It's rebound, rewind and replay. It follows the law of correspondence. It responds by corresponding. As you contemplate right action, you will automatically experience a reaction or response in yourself that represent the guidance and answer of your subconscious mind. In seeking guidance, you simply think quietly about right action. This means that you are using the infinite intelligence resident in the subconscious mind to the point where it began to use you. From there on, your course of action is directive and controlled by the subjective wisdom within you, which is all wise, omnipotent. Your decision will be right. There will be only right action because you are under the subjective compulsion to do the right thing. I use the word compulsion because the law of subconscious mind is compulsion. The secret of guidance. The secret of guidance or right action, it is the mentally devoted yourself to be right answer until you find the response in you. The response is feeling, a inner awareness, the overwhelm, the hunch hereby you know that you know. You have used a PowerPoint where it is beginning to use you. You cannot possibly fail or make one fail step while operating under the subconscious freedom within you. You will find that all your ways are pleasantness, all your paths are peaceful. Highlight to excel. Remember that the subconscious mind has determined the success and the wonderful achievement of all great scientific work. By giving your conscious attention and devotion the solution of the perplexing problem, your subconscious mind is greater all is necessary information and presented fall down blow to the conscious mind. If you are wondering about the answer to the problem, try to solve it objectively. Get all the information you can from research, also from other. If no answer come, turn it over to your subconscious mind period to sleep, and the answer always come. It never fails. You do not always get the answer overnight. Keep on turning your request over to your subconscious until the day break and the shadow flee away. You delay the answer by thinking it will take a long time or that a major problem. Your subconscious mind had no problem. It know only the answer. Believe that you have an answer now. Feel the joy of your answer. The way you would feel it you have to perfect answer. Your subconscious will respond to your feeling. Any mental picture, blanket faith and presence will come to pass through the miracle working power of your subconscious. Trust it. Believe it. Its power. Wonder will happen as you pray. Your subconscious is the store of house of memory, and within your subconscious are recovered all your experiences since childhood. Science meditation on Asian scroll template fossil other evidence are able to reconstruct scenes of the past and make them alive today. their subconscious mind come to their aid. Turn over your request for a solution to your subconscious mind period to sleep. Trust it and believe in it, and the answer will come. It know all and see all, but you must not doubt or question its power. The action you thought, the reaction is to respond of your subconscious mind. If your thought was wise, and your action and decision will be wise. Guidance come as a feeling, as inner awareness, an overpowering hunch whereby you know that you know. It is an inner sense of touch. Follow it with the simplicity of faith.